Hey, it's Amanda, and on this week's episode of Create, Inspire, Convert, I'm bringing you an interview with Sharon Hartwick of the Hartwick Group. Sharon runs a LinkedIn marketing agency that focuses on gathering quality leads for your business. Now, the reason I wanted to interview Sharon for the podcast is because her focus is all about creating meaningful relationships with the right person so that your services and products are put in front of quality, warm leads, which means less wasted time and no wasted money on paid advertising. We had such a good conversation. I learned a ton, and I can't wait for you to listen to this episode so that you'll learn a ton too. Hi there. Welcome to Create, Inspire, Convert, a podcast for business owners and marketers who are looking to deepen their knowledge about creative and experience-focused online marketing. I'm your host, Amanda Rosen. Let's get to this week's episode. Okay, so Sharon, I'm so glad that you're joining us today. This is our very first interview on the podcast. So do you feel special that you are my very first interview?
I feel extremely special. I feel honored and grateful for the opportunity. And I thank you so much for inviting me to share with your audience.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm really excited. And we're going to talk about LinkedIn and generating leads on LinkedIn and how do you market your business on LinkedIn. And this is, I think, just going to be so valuable. And let's get right into it. So why don't we start by you sharing how you got started with LinkedIn and where did all that come from?
I started building my own business in it was August of 2018. I left a job, quit my job and decided, okay, I'm building a business. I invested in a business coach and trainer to help me grow my business because, to be honest, I had tried for 17 years prior to build my own business with little to zero success. Lots and lots of money out the door, but nothing to show for it. So I knew that if I was really going to do it right this time, then I needed to invest in somebody to help me start and build a business because I knew nothing about that. So fast forward, a year later, I'm getting to a point where I was trying different things. I mean, I was doing lots of different things. I was good at lots of different things, but nothing was really like lighting my fire. And I wasn't really passionate about anything. So it really was just kind of like work and how you avoid work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When it's something that you love, it's not work and you just want to do more. Right. So my business coach had actually asked me if I would be interested in taking a training program, which it's no longer available, so I'm not going to mention the name of it, to learn about organic marketing and lead generation strategies for LinkedIn. And she hired me to do her LinkedIn marketing. So I've always been that kind of person where I'm a lifelong learner. So I'm always seeking knowledge and learning new things. And I take the gems that I pick up from other people and what other people have to say, and I put my own spin on it. I want to do things in a way that feel good to me. So I did learn a lot about LinkedIn. I also learned a lot on my own from just doing it. And I found some strategies that work really well and others that not so much.
Yeah. All right. That's really fascinating. I'm kind of the same way about the lifelong learner. And I love what you said about taking gems that you just picked up.
Yeah.
That I think that truly is one of the things that sets people who kind of are successful and get traction apart from those who don't, is being able to be adaptable and agile with what you're learning and doing and just applying it and sharing that knowledge too. That's such a valuable trait to have, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So as you got more into doing LinkedIn, did you have any other experience with like other social platforms, or was it just always from the beginning LinkedIn and you just like that's kind of like become your thing?
Well, I knew when I first got started in the virtual space and trying to figure out what it was that I wanted to do, because I mean I have skills and I have knowledge and I have things that I bring to the table, and I learned software programs really easy. And so like I said, I was doing a lot of different things. I was doing some things on, Facebook and Instagram for clients, but they things change so rapidly. I'm like, that is just one of those things where I knew that being a social media manager was not something that I ever really wanted to do. So I didn't really dive real deep into those things. It was just kind of like, okay, you do it because that's what they say you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Do you think that there is something that sets LinkedIn apart? Like, do you think is it more slower paced on LinkedIn? Are there less changes going on? And that's kind of like what makes it more of a valuable place for businesses to be paying attention to for marketing?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, yes, LinkedIn is very slowly adding things, but when they do add things, they're like really like useful, meaningful things for the people who are on LinkedIn. It's not like, every week you log into Facebook and they've changed something.
Right. Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, I know.
if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. So they are slow into the game, but they're really methodical about what it is that they're doing. And unlike Facebook, Instagram, and those other social networking sites, LinkedIn is a professional networking platform, and it's going to be where professional people are, and they're specifically on there to connect, to network, and to grow, whether it be in their careers or whether it be in business, because LinkedIn was traditionally thought of as the job seekers, people who were looking to grow their careers in the job. But more and more entrepreneurs are getting on there. So you've got the business owners, entrepreneurs. I mean, anybody who is in a professional space is on LinkedIn. I mean, right now it's got more than 660 million users worldwide, and everyone is going to be on there for more or less the same reason.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Gosh, I didn't know it was that big of a platform. That's amazing. And I like that point that you've brought up about why they're on there. I think one of the reasons why Facebook and Instagram can be so challenging to market on is people are not on there to be marketed to. They're on there to look at pictures of cats or look at their families and friends' meals that they're cooking or pictures of children versus LinkedIn. When you're on there, like, how would you describe the mindset of someone who is on there, just going on there day to day for their like regular visit to LinkedIn?
Yeah. So for people who are on LinkedIn to grow and to network and to interact with people, I mean, that's why they're on there. They're on there to build connections, to network, to share their knowledge, to, provide valuable information. You share other people's stuff as well that's valuable, so valuable third-party content. So it's not just all self-promo and, this is, me. It's like, hey, I saw this. This is awesome. I wanted to share it with everybody. Those kind of things. So it's not so much about selling. I mean, you will see people who are doing that, and those strategies don't work. Like I say, there's things I've learned that work and things that I don't think, things that I've learned that don't work. And so the people who are out there like, hey, join me in this, sell me in this, buy. Those strategies don't work. But the people who are out there sharing, tips and tricks and bits of their knowledge, those are the people that people genuinely want to hear from and interact with.
Okay, that is super fascinating. Okay, that was going to be one of my questions for you, is like, what types of content seems to work best on LinkedIn? Because I'm curious about not only just the subject matter, but even in terms of length. Like, do longer posts do well, shorter posts? Like, what are some guidelines around posting content on LinkedIn?
Well, like with other platforms, video seems to do really, really well. They're going to say, LinkedIn says that they don't give precedent to any type of content, but when you go into your feed, video naturally performs better. It gets more interaction. So, video is going to do better than images. Images are going to be given the more visibility because that's just what people naturally flock to. Text, people don't tend to read unless there's something that grabs their attention and like says, okay, I want to see more about this. So what you do choose to share needs to be able to hit the pain points of, your target market, whoever your audience is, and show your expertise or some sort of valuable content from another source that speaks to those things. I mean, you want to share things that you legitimately find interesting and have something to say about. And whatever strategy you choose to do, just make sure that you're doing it consistently. LinkedIn has its own publishing platform, so you can publish your blog content on there. LinkedIn is a great place for repurposing content and making it new again.
So would you say that in terms of types of content, so it's, hitting the pain points, you're providing value, you're sharing interesting things. Does humor do pretty well on there? Like similar to on Facebook or Instagram? Are people sharing like memes on there?
If you are
a
naturally funny person,
okay,
then absolutely. It's all about being authentic.
Authentic.
Those
okay.
are the people who want and appreciate you for who you are. Those are the people who are going to want to, in the long run, end up working with you.
Absolutely.
If you're not going to be authentically you, there's no sense in doing anything, because you're going to attract the wrong people to you. You're not going to enjoy what it is that you do. So it's whatever you do needs to be done with an intention, and it needs to be authentic and genuine, because people can smell BS a mile away.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, they can. Yeah. All right. Those are good tips. So would you say then, when you're posting this content, is it better to post this on your personal profile, or is it better to have like a business page on LinkedIn and be using that as your vehicle for delivering this content?
Yeah. So everything that you do on LinkedIn, you need to do it through your personal profile. Okay. Yes, you do want to have a business page, but that is really just to give, like with having a website, give your business credibility, so that, in your list of experience, your business shows up with your logo, or it just brings more authenticity to your business. You're more legitimate, those kind of things. But everything that you share, everything that you post, everything that you do is going to be coming from your personal profile.
Okay. All right. Does LinkedIn have a similar group function like to what Facebook has?
Absolutely. And I highly recommend that anybody who, has that kind of platform where you want to build a community, that you do have a LinkedIn group of some kind where you can share third-party content and create dialogues and discussion and interact with people. Because what that is going to do, and you join other groups as well where your people hang out, because what that does is, in order for you to connect with somebody on LinkedIn, you have to have some sort of mutual tie. So you can connect or send requests to connect with people who are connected to people that you're connected with. So they have connections on the first, which are the people that you're connected with, second level, which are the people they're connected with, and then third level, which is going to be the people that your connections are connected with. So those are the people that you have access with. Now, when you're in a group, or you have your group of your own and people are in your group, you now have the ability to send messaging to them. You have the ability to connect with their connections, whether you're directly connected as first connections or not. So it opens up more of that 660 million people for you to be able to reach.
Okay. Wow. I had no idea about that. I did not realize that about the levels of connection. Like, so you're saying on a personal page, then there's just basically 3 levels deep of how you can connect with people. Mm-hmm. And then in the group, though, you have that benefit of removing that essentially and widening your reach. That's pretty incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah, because there may be people who end up in your group who have no connections with anyone that you're connected with, but now you have a connection with them through that group.
Right. And they're gaining exposure to what you do, to your messaging, all of that. That's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn's algorithm. Well, first of all, when you log into LinkedIn, you first see the news feed, I'm assuming, with like posts and things. Does there appear to be like ranking factors similar to Facebook and Instagram, like what their algorithm has, which are largely based around like whether you're providing engaging content, whether you've got relevant content, that type of thing? How does LinkedIn's algorithm seem to work?
So the way that the algorithm works on LinkedIn is very similar to other platforms. It's going to give the most visibility to those accounts that have frequent interactions and engagement. So the best way to, do that, like I said, is by sharing content that encourages genuine, meaningful conversations versus self-promoting yourself. Just being, authentic. Your people are going to appreciate that and they're going to want to interact with you. And what you do post, make sure that you're posting things that encourage a response rather than, so many times you'll see people, they'll just drop a link and expect engagement. So just asking questions, making sure that you are encouraging feedback, encouraging a response, and then also taking the time to interact back. So if somebody comments on your post, then, comment back.
Okay, so just being like a part of the community. That's similar, you're right, to Facebook and Instagram. That whole meaningful connection thing is like the biggest, most important ranking factor on those platforms. Absolutely. Yeah. So one final question about content. I forgot to ask this earlier. What about hashtags? How does search work on LinkedIn?
So like with most platforms, you have the ability to use hashtags. You can use as many as you want. Posts tend to do better with just a few. So, 2, 3, 4, not a bunch of them. But you're going to want to research the hashtags that you do use. And the best way to do that is on the LinkedIn platform. There's going to be the search bar. You go up there, you type in hashtag, whatever it is that you want to do, and see how many people actually follow that hashtag. You're going to be able to select the ones that are going to work best for you. Because if you share something to a hashtag that only has 100 people following it, you're not going to get as much visibility as you would say with a hashtag that has 10,000 followers.
Okay, sure. That makes sense. Do you recommend doing like a mixture of high and low hashtags, or do you always recommend people focus on the hashtags getting more engagement or having more follows?
Focusing on the ones that have more engagement and have more follows. So like take, for instance, right now with everybody being stuck at home because we are in the whole COVID-19 pandemic, there's a lot more people following the hashtag work from home, work at home,
right.
Work at home-based businesses. But if you look at the difference between those, right now, more people are following the hashtag work from home than they are home-based business.
Okay.
So, it would make more sense if you, like, say, if you're a business coach and you want to, teach people how to build businesses from home, then it would make more sense to reach out to those people who are following the work from home rather than the home-based business, because you're going to be able to reach more people.
All right, that makes sense. Okay, so now I kind of want to ask a few questions about your approach when you're working with clients and they come to you for help with LinkedIn. What seems to be the biggest thing that business owners are struggling with when it comes to marketing themselves on LinkedIn?
Most of the time when they do come to me, it's going to be because they just don't have the time to do it themselves, to do it right themselves. It really takes about 90 minutes a day to market yourself on LinkedIn effectively.
Oh, wow.
Now,
all right.
For some people, and that's everything from the social media aspect side of things to the engaging with people, to making new connections, to messaging with people. Like that's everything. Because when you think about LinkedIn marketing, it's more than just sharing posts. Like there's footwork that actually has to be done in order to get those people off of the platform and onto the phone.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I guess as I think about it, that's pretty similar to other social networks in some sense, because you're needing to be like an active part of that community if you want to get visibility on that platform.
Yeah.
So that does make sense. Would you say that of all the clients that you've worked with, do there seem to be certain types of businesses that lend themselves better to being on LinkedIn than others?
Anyone who is going to be in the B2B space, so a business to business. So if you are a virtual, and I say virtual service provider, as in you have a service that you offer virtually to other entrepreneurs or other businesses, then you're in that B2B space. So it's the perfect place for you. But if you look at someone who is like, say, a health coach who helps, postpartum mothers get back to their pre-baby shapes, you're not going to have as much luck marketing on LinkedIn. Your audience is going to be on one of those other social networking platforms. So it's just, you have to think of who is your audience and where do they hang out?
All right. So would you say then that your specialty is more about organic or paid, or do you do a mixture of both?
So I definitely do organic marketing methods. Like I don't deal with ads at all. I am not an advertising agency. Everything that I do is going to be on the organic side of things. And my experience and the way that I approach LinkedIn for not only myself, but for my clients as well, it's really all about building relationships. And we don't focus on selling or making sales, because when you focus on building quality relationships, the sales and growth, they come. It's just a natural part of that process, because people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. So strategy on LinkedIn is going to be really, really simple. You provide value and be authentic in your interactions, and really just take the time to get to know people so that you can tailor any communications that you make to be specific to them. So that it's really just as literally as simple as saying, you know what, this person's been following me for a while. I'm going to send them a message. Let me go over here. I'm going to look at their profile. I'm going to make some notes of some things. And then when you send them a message of them, hey, we've been connected for a while. I want to thank you for being a part of my community. I noticed on your profile that and I'd really love to know more about, and ask them a question. It's really just that simple of making those authentic and real connections. You can comment on the posts that your connections are making, but again, you really actually read the post. There's nothing authentic, and I hate it when people do it, because they do it to me as well, that they just comment something and say, you know, great post, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Be real, because it's like you're just commenting to comment. It's like you're not being authentic in your interaction. I want to know, well, what made it a great post? Was there anything that, didn't resonate? I mean, I appreciate constructive criticism, and, it's one of those where you make the sandwich. You say something great, and then something that, maybe you didn't agree with, but then something else that was really great about it, and it just allows for that back and forth communication. And because we don't all have to agree on everything, but being intentional in those interactions, it's going to build that rapport and build that trust.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. That is such an important piece that I think is so often overlooked in the marketing and the sales process. And it's part of my signature approach with clients I work with is, what is the experience we're creating? Are we nurturing the people who are connecting with us? Are we engaging in authentic conversation with them? And I mean, I don't think I can hammer this point home enough, is that these social networks, these networking platforms exist for connection.
Absolutely.
And I love what you said about how the sales will follow. It's so true. If you are out there doing the work and connecting, the sales will come.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the one core value that has stuck with me my entire life and has guided me in everything that I do, it goes into everything. It goes into what I do in my business, what I do for my clients' business. It's in essence simply just treat others how you want to be treated. How would I feel if somebody said this to me? Would I want to talk more to this person?
Exactly. Right.
It's really that simple. It's really that simple.
And thinking of how, your words make them feel like, I think we've all had that experience where someone has shown up like in a direct message or a private message somewhere under false pretenses. And you quickly discover, oh, you're just pitching me about something, or you want something from me.
I get connection requests all the time where it's like, okay, I'll connect with this person and just kind of feel them out and see, And then literally within minutes of connecting, they are sending me some sort of spam message going, join my this, blah, 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 let's talk. I can help you do this, that, and the other. And it's like, I mean, it's think of it like dating. Like, you're not going to go from hi, nice to meet you to, hey, let's hit the sheets.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is what marketing is all about. I mean, you have to you're not going to jump right into bed with somebody you don't know, hopefully.
Yeah, you shouldn't, hopefully. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Marketing, I think that, of course, we do our work online, but in some sense, I feel like the internet broke that about marketing. It made marketing feel, first of all, that like everybody can do it all the time, that you should always be on in marketing, and that marketing means pushing your messaging onto everyone wherever they are, no matter what they're doing.
And it might have worked once upon a time ago, but
Yeah.
those tactics don't work anymore. People
Right.
are smarter, they're wiser. Like they want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust, not,
Yes.
because somebody says, hey, if you work with me, this is what you're going to get.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think it's different if you're like a consumer good product, because I think we're all accustomed to receiving those marketing messages all the time.
Yeah.
But it's in this B2B space where it needs to be more about that connection and that relationship. And this is the way I frame it, is like marketing's job is to convey the branding, convey the messaging, and build the relationship. Sales job is to close that relationship based on everything that came beforehand. So keeping in mind like who that person is, listening to what their actual needs are, having done the research on them, which is part of the marketing, all of that. And then that sales job is so much easier. And not to say that ads don't ever have a place in B2B, they do, but you just have to be mindful and careful about what you're doing.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's one of those where, I mean, your return on your investment is always going to be better with organic marketing methods. It just takes more time. So sometimes you have to look at, what do you have more of, time or money? And I think if you're going to do paid ads, you have to have a good balance between your organic marketing tactics that work and those paid marketing, because especially when it comes to paid advertising, especially with Facebook, we all know things are constantly changing. What works today might not work tomorrow. Ads are constantly getting pulled, especially when it comes to third quarter. Third quarter is so expensive to advertise in because it's the holiday time, or not third quarter, fourth quarter, because it's the holiday time and precedence is being given to those big companies who have millions of dollars to pump into advertising. And so if you want your ads to continue to perform, you've got to pump more and more money into them. So having, and what's going to happen tomorrow if, Facebook goes away, or the paid advertising gets shut down, or, they change their algorithm again.
Exactly.
And you just start losing all this money in paid advertising that isn't working. You've got to have a good balance between the two.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And that's how I always advise my clients as well, is you've got to divide your eggs up into multiple baskets, with that organic piece being your largest chunk, it ultimately being your foundation. Because if you can nail that, nail your voice, nail how you're going to connect with people online, the paid part can be supplemental to all of that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any other like tips or hints or really cool tricks that you want to share with our listeners about LinkedIn and about promoting yourself organically on LinkedIn?
When you go to connect with people, you need to ask yourself a couple different questions. You want to know, does this look like someone who I want to work with? Is it someone worth getting to know more about? Is this someone who works with my target market? Like, would they be a good connection to have for a potential referral partnership? Because not everybody you connect with is going to be an ideal client for you. But in building that relationship and building that rapport, you might build a referral partnership where, they send referrals your direction. Even though they may not want your service, they may work with people or know people who are in need of what you bring to the table. So it's not just about selling your services. It's about building those relationships of people who can send referrals your way to grow your business as well. Or thirdly, are they going to be part of some sort of outside networking group that you're a part of? So if you're, a member of the eBiz networking group, or like there's so many of them, and of course I draw a blank on names of them, but if you're part of any sort of like professional networking group, and they're a member of that, then they're a good person to connect with too. Ask yourself, does this look like a real person? Because yes, there are creepers on LinkedIn, just like on Facebook.
Yeah.
They are out there. There are fake profiles. Just be sure that the people that you do connect with, be methodical. Are they going to be a valuable connection? And is it potential that both of you could benefit from being connected? I mean, if the answer to that is like, not really, or maybe, possibly it could be, they're not a good connection for you. And it's okay to say no.
Okay. Yeah, those are really good tips. What's fascinating about that is you can contrast that against Facebook or Instagram, where you don't get to control who connects with your business. It's just people follow you and you have no say over. I mean, you can go in retroactively and ban people or remove them as a follower if they're not who you ideally want to be connecting with. But really it's on the platform's algorithm to hopefully deliver the right people to you. Mm-hmm. Or of course you can spend money and promote yourself to hopefully the right audience. So that's really a fascinating contrast.
Yeah. And the great thing with LinkedIn is you can actually download a spreadsheet of your current connections. A lot of people don't know that. You can.
What data do you get on that spreadsheet?
Essentially, you get their name and you get their title and the company that they're working for. That's really the information. If they have their email address available to be downloaded in that, then you'll get the email address. But I mean, all you really need to know is the name and like what their business is, because the way that I do it for myself and for my clients is I go to literally, and this is a time consuming part of it, but again, ask yourself, do you have more time or do you have more money? If you have time, do it. If you have more money, then outsource the task. It's not something that you have to do, but it does need to be done. And you can hire a VA fairly inexpensively to collect this data for you. But it's a matter of gathering their profile link and adding that into it. That way, if you want to go select, okay, I'm going to send, message to these 10 people today. You just click on the link and it takes you directly to their profile. So you can pull that information, put it into your spreadsheet. You can get the link for their messaging link. So if you go into messages and you go to a person's message that you've had between them, there's a link at the top of the screen. Copy that link, paste it into your spreadsheet. That way, when you go to send them a new message, that you just click on the link and it takes you directly to that page rather than having to go into LinkedIn and search and do all of this. You do all of the hard work in the beginning to make it go faster in the end.
Yeah. Like setting up that system. What I'm hearing you say with that is it's almost kind of like LinkedIn can be somewhat of like a CRM in some sense, or your sales prospecting software, just through the connections you're building, which of course you're curating and then hopefully attracting based on the content that you're posting that's providing that value. And I bet not many people are thinking of LinkedIn in that way. Even me just sitting here thinking about LinkedIn, like, wow, I'm not using it to its full potential, like at all. I had
and that's
no
how
idea.
It was for me too. When I got into learning more about LinkedIn and how to use LinkedIn for marketing, it was just like mind explosions everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, this just makes so much sense. And I love it. And it just like, it lit like all of those places that hadn't been lit in so long that it was like, I just fell in love and fell so deep and just give more information, give me, all of the information.
Yeah, exactly.
Really just through doing is how I've learned, ways to do it better.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So what advice would you give a business owner who's like just starting out on LinkedIn and they're not sure how to promote themselves? Like what would be their first few action steps to really get going?
So what I like to tell people to focus on first is, again, making sure that you're making meaningful connections. So download a list of your current connections and go through them one by one and ask yourself those 3 questions. Would this person fit into my ideal client profile, or do they work with my ideal clients? Or are they part of some sort of networking group that I'm a part of? Like, are they a worthwhile and valuable connection? If the answer is no, disconnect with them, get them off your list and out of your space. Make sure that the people that you're connecting with moving forward are of that valuable quality, and just do a relationship refresh with the people that you're already connected with. Start sending out messages. And I personally set out 2 time blocks, one in the morning, one in the evening, about 45 minutes each for my LinkedIn networking time. So I do it over my breakfast in the morning because I'm not going to be doing anything else other than scrolling on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Right. So I might as well do something productive with my time.
Yeah.
And so I'll get any posts that I can get scheduled in advance. I will. Anything that I'm publishing that has to be direct published on LinkedIn's platform, I can't schedule that kind of thing. If I'm posting video, that has to be direct published. But if I'm sharing an article or something like those things, I can schedule in advance. I can go through and see who commented on things the day before, and I can comment back. Anybody who's messaged me, I can send messages back. I can say, okay, is this the day that I'm going to be sending out messages to people? people. And if it is, then that's what I focus on. And then at the end of the day, I do the same thing. Anybody who's commented, I comment back. Anybody who's, sent me message, I message back, those kind of things. And just scheduling that time to just do that part of doing that relationship refresh. And, chances are these people, they've seen you around, they've seen what you're doing. They might know a little bit about you. They might be interested in getting to know a little bit more about you. And so you're able to refresh those relationships. And of course, the goal with any of those messaging campaigns or anything that you might do is going to be to eventually get them on a phone call or into an email list or opt-in pipeline, whatever the case may be for your business. If it's a phone call, it's going to be to, that meet and greet, hey, coffee, chit chat, how can we both benefit from being connected? And then at the end of that conversation, if it makes sense to pitch, then schedule an actual formal call for that. Don't pitch on the first chat. That's just kind of a get to know you. Does it make sense? Or, is it possible that it may not make sense for you to work together, but you might know people that could benefit from being, referred to them, and they might know people that can benefit from being referred to you. So it's just growing the relationships that you already have, and then just going out there once or twice a week, maybe, and finding 20 to 30 new connections, and then starting the process over with them in a few weeks.
Okay, that sounds good. I like that. It's very methodical, very easy to follow steps. Yeah, that's really helpful. I think that's good info. I think that was all the questions I had. Was there any other parting thoughts or tactics or anything that you want to impart?
It's one of those where whatever you're going to do, just make sure that it's authentically you and it's not what everyone else is doing, that it feels good for you. Treat others how you want to be treated, and the rest will follow.
Yeah, that's great. Great words of advice. Well, Sharon, this was such an awesome interview. I have learned so much. It was so helpful. And before
thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we say goodbye, where can people find you? What's your website? How can people get help from you if they want help? Tell me what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can absolutely 100% find me on LinkedIn. I would love to connect with you and your listeners there. Absolutely. Or you can find me on my website. My website is www.hartwick, HARTWICK group.com. And I also have a free download on my website, which is the step-by-step guide to prospecting on LinkedIn, which will kind of go a little bit deeper into a lot of what it is that we talked about today for those who would like to give it a shot, of getting systems in place for themselves.
Awesome. That is perfect. Well, great. Thank you so much. And I guess I will talk with you soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. You too. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to hear what your takeaways were. How are you going to start leveraging LinkedIn marketing in a more authentic way? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Find us on YouTube or Create, Inspire, Convert, and you can also shout me out on Instagram. Same handle, Create, Inspire, Convert. See you there.